For me, tourism the act process is spending time away from pursuit of creation, relaxation, and pleasure, while making use of the commercial provision of services. In the year 1980, the United Nations World Tourism Organization announced the day of September 27 as World Tourism Day. The idea of this celebration is to bring sustainability to the tourism sector all around the world.
Tourism in Middle Period. During the Middle Period, travel declined after the decline of the Roman Empire. Roads were not maintained and they became during this time. Travel for pleasure, crusader, and elsewhere. The only one travel.
Tourism during Renaissance and Elizabeth eras. Travel for education became popular in 16th century and was introduced by the British under Elizabeth I, then seeking in Dakar. In 1670, it was recognized that the education of gentlemen should be completed by grand tour. Introduction of the railway. The railroads created not only for business by providing reliable and cheap transportation, but also more competition as various private companies invested heavily in hotels, restaurants, and entertainment facilities.
Development of steam power. Steam power of major river provided reliable and inexpensive transportation that made it popular trade. Cruise and the growth of coastal resort are large industrial towns. Or what is steam engine?
One steam engine. The steam engine that propelled the Industrial Revolution in Britain and the world.
Tourism in the 20th century. At the beginning of the 20th century, leisure travel continued to expand, encouraged by the increasing of curiosity and outgoing attitudes of the people, as well as the increasing ease of such movements. World War I brought about many changes which influenced the volume of tourism. Early post-war prosperity, coupled with large-scale migration boosted the demand for international travel interest in the foreign travel. After World War II, rail travel declined with the introduction of the motor car. Motorized public road transport and improved road conditions led to the popularity of seaside tour.
Let's talk about tourism in 21st century. Suleiman, what is tourism in 21st century?
Tourism in the 21st century, the nature, forms, characteristics, need and demand of tourists for travel have changed rapidly over the period of time. Travel has now become more sophisticated, structured, and hassle-free. Due to this, it is growing at a much faster rate, and every country is directly or indirectly part of international tourist business. The top 5 countries, USA, France, Spain, Germany, and China, are leading the race and leading in the international tourism business in the world.
The tourism business is in forward-looking mode and are more related to the contemporary issues like cross-border terrorism, international border conflict, natural resources and energy conservation, pollution and waste management, globalization, urban development, information management, technology, and communications.
In 21st century tourism will maintain more equitable distribution of revenue earned from tourism between the development of countries and backward region or areas.
Improvements in air transport not only encourage the growth of intercontinental travel in 1960s and 1970s. After the post-war recovery years, there was an increase in private car ownership. Travelers switched to the use of private cars and this change affected both coach and rail services.
What is the meaning of hospitality?
Hospitality is the relationship between a guest and host, wherein the host receives the guest with some amount of goodwill, including the reception and entertainment of guests, visitors, or strangers.
For you, what is the idea of hospitality?
The idea of hospitality is what lies in the center of tourism industry. The term hospitality has been derived from a French word hospice, which means taking care of the travelers.
Travel for business. Throughout the history, Merchants have traveled extensively in order to trade with other nations or tribes. The invention of money, writing, and wheels by the Sumerian facilitated travel and exchange of goods. The early Phoenicians toured the Mediterranean as traders. Both the Greeks and Romans were well-known traders, and as their respective empire increased, travel became necessary. At this time, there was also travel for the private purposes. Roman traveler was largely aided by the improvement and communication, first-class roads and inns, forerunners of modern hotels. Cuneiform writing. Cuneiform meaning wedge shapes is the Sumerian writing system. Cuneiform was used to record and communicate different types of information. They recorded daily events, trade, astronomy, and literature. Before the writing on these tablets were simple pictures or pictograms which represent an object or an idea.
Religious travel. Travel for religious reasons took the form of pilgrims to place of worship. Pilgrims were made to fulfill a vow as in the case of illness or of a great danger or as a penance for sins. In the 14th century, St. James of Galatia beside Rome and Jerusalem was the foremost destination of English pilgrims. Beginning in 1388, English pilgrims were acquired to obtain and carry permits as the forerunner of the modern passport. St. James the Greater is one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ and one of the world's most popular saints. The tomb of St. James was discovered in Santiago in the 19th century soon as the shrine became a great international attraction. Europe wanted to believe that the remains of the apostle were buried there. Christendom had now three great pilgrims destinations: Jerusalem on the east, Roma on the center, and Santiago on the west.
And an expensive transportation transport.
Yung ano ba?
Ano ba? Ano ba?